Hello, welcome to meettina here. How's everyone's doing today? So happy Friday thing. Yes. So I just saw this movie, The Fantastic Beasts of Dumbledore. So I figure let's do magic with Laurie Johnson today. How about that? Hi, Laurie. How are
Hi,
you?
Tina. I am well. How are you doing?
Awesome, awesome. So I figure, you know what? Why don't we just talk about this subject then? Let's do magic with you. You
Okay.
can share with us what is magic and how can any individual work with the magic, because a lot of people believe in that, and I think I would love for you to clarify, the work of magic. What is it? What it's like? Does it work and
Yeah,
all that stuff?
magic is a lot simpler than people think because we've been taught from a Piscean age point of view, and magic is not left hemisphere logical lines and squares thinking at all. It's kind of like, Piscean age trying to teach an Aquarian age. It's me. I took a class in French in high school, and I'm now going to teach you French. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know how to get there. So a lot of people are taught, especially when you talk about doing magic, like within spell work, like within Wicca or any of that stuff, that it's taken from a point of view that you need the tools. You need, within Wicca, you have the 4 tools. You have the pentagram and the cups and the candle or the flame and
The
the
wand.
air. The wand represents air. So,
Mhm.
I mean, you've got the 4 elements that are represented in the 4 tools, but and I'm not saying that's wrong, but it's basically being taught from a Piscean age of controlling it, when basically the magic is all around us. It always has been, but for at least 2000 years, longer really, but let's just take the Piscean age, that how we've been looking at it is as if it is supernatural. It's outside of us and we need to control it, when basically it's all around us, it's everywhere, and it's not about controlling, because it's being in harmony with it and being able to utilize it, being able to recognize and utilize it. So the best magic that I've done, although I did one like wickedly great spell in 1999 for my ex, when we were together, and I don't usually recommend doing spells for somebody else because the passion of what you're doing, it requires you to be really passionate about it. If you're doing it for somebody else, their passion for it is not equal to yours. You just cannot get that same thing. But this was about work. He wanted to get work all the time. He's in the entertainment industry. He built sets for a living. And so he was like a freelance, and he wanted to get work. And he wanted that at the end of the first year, he wanted to be in the union. So I did a spell, used all the energy. I used the sympathetic magic, which is I used candles, I used tarot cards, I used incense, I used every one of the tools. It took me 2 weeks to prepare it, to get everything together. I did it on the right day, because there is a right day, there is a right time to start. There is a right energy to work with the moon. All of that stuff comes into play. It's about the timing of it for all of it to be sympathetic, all of it to work for you. So any of the tools you're using are basically helping you focus on something, like the candle helps you focus on the element of flame to bring in the passion, the desire, the activity of flame, and with all of the tools. So I did the spell. It took me 5 hours to perform. It
Wow.
ran actively because I had the 7-day candles in the glass jar, the 7-day, they last for 7 days. It ran for 5.5 days because they never last for 7 days. And then it worked from 99 up until he died this year. He was,
Wow.
by the end of the first year, he was grandfathered into the union in a way that made no sense to anybody. And the only time he never worked was when he got off a job about a year after this was working. And he'd been working pretty constantly. And he decided to take some time off because, he just thought he could. And because he disrespected the spell, he was out of work for 3 months.
Oh wow. So what did he do to disrespect the spell?
Like, well, I'm work's going to come to me. I don't have to worry about it. The spell is working, so I can do what I want. That's not what he
Ah.
asked for. He didn't ask for time off. And I'm not saying he couldn't have taken it, but he took it off with the thought process that, yeah, this is going to be for me whenever I want it. And the spell said,
Ah.
no, you asked for it. Don't disrespect us. And so it taught him, like 3 months, he didn't have work, never disrespected the spell again. And that guy was one of the busiest people in the industry. He went
Wow,
from
that's
one job
amazing.
to another. He finished one job, and on the afternoon that he was done, he got 6 calls before he got home for the next project that he was going to be on.
So you would say that's not common for most people to get
It
busy
depends
like
on
that.
if you know how to use the energy, because that's all it
Mhm.
was. But then there's another time when it was all about energy, when I was on a plane like I think it was from LA to Detroit, and it was at night, and it was a very turbulent ride. And right across the aisle from me was a pregnant woman, and she was about 6 months pregnant. And she was really, really, really uncomfortable because the baby was very upset.
Wow.
And usually you ask permission if you're going to do something to help somebody, but I didn't feel like going across the aisle and saying, hey, would you mind if I throw some little magic your way to make it easier? So I asked her soul if it was okay. And I manipulated energy. I can't say manipulated. I called in the energy. I focused it for myself, and I sent the energy of calm and of protection around the baby. And within a couple of minutes, the baby calmed down. She calmed down. And right before we got off the plane, about an hour later, she looked at me like, you did something, but she didn't know what to say, and she didn't know what I did. But it's the kind of thing where you can use the energy. It's the same energy I used to call work for Patrick.
Mm,
Just about being able to recognize that we've got all this available to us all the time, but we've been thinking that that's not there because we can't prove it. Because Piscean age, you've got to prove it physically. It's got to be a
right.
three-dimensional reality.
So basically, Laurie, what you did, you just set your intention and you focus on your thought or your emotion or what you want.
Yeah,
Is that what it
yeah,
is?
but that's the Piscean age thing where it's like I'm going to put it in my mind. That's
Right.
not just it. When you're going
Mm,
to do something, you be aware of the feel of the energy. You be aware of the color of it. It's like using all your senses to be able to actually feel it. We've got chakra points in our palms and in our feet.
yes.
And this is for being able to send energy, to receive energy if you're right-handed, to receive through your left and give through your right, but also through your feet to be able to pull up the energy of the earth. And it's a palpable thing. When I do a protection spell for myself in the morning before I start working, I can feel the energy running through me. I can feel the color of it, the excitement of it, the like it's energy, it's alive. And so it's not just the thought process, because the thought process, the focus of it, that's part one.
Right.
But being able to feel the energy that is around us, because it's not just feeling on the one level, it's feeling with all your senses. There's a thing when I was in acting school that you want to remember something. It's an exercise called sense memory. So you remember an event, and there was a guy, big, strong, strapping guy, and he remembered his sister getting married at the reception or at when she was walking down the aisle. And he remembered what it looked like, the color of where everything was, how she physically looked in the dress, the room, the flowers. He remembered the scent of the flowers. He remembered the sound of what was going on. He
Wow.
remembered that he was smelling things, and that he started crying in the middle of
Wow.
class because he recalled it so intensely.
Wow.
So
Wow.
recall it intensely, but it's like being aware of what you hear, of what you see, of all of it. And whenever I do psychic work, teach psychic work, the first thing you do is you start being aware of the energy, start being aware how far you can see, how far you can hear, how far you can feel where things are before you reach your limit, which is way beyond where you can physically see and where you can physically hear. So it's
Wow.
being able to recognize that first. And all the spell work that people do that does have to do with a wand, that does have to do with candle magic,
Mm,
those are tools to help you focus because they're sympathetic to what you're doing. The color of
mm,
the candles is one thing I was dealing with. The specific tarot cards was something that I was dealing with to bring in the right energy. The
mm.
incense was of a certain scent that had to do with success in business. All of these things come into play. It's using all the senses, but that's only the tools to get you to be able to use the energy, to recognize the energy without needing the tools.
So it's not like a necessity having to use that in order for it to work, as
No,
long as you know how to do it.
it's if you don't know what you're doing, it helps you focus.
Ah, got it.
It gives you something because it's like the color of red is about passion and it's about activity
Right.
and getting things done. So if you want to get things done and you're very passionate about something, red is usually used in love spells or calling love to you. So it's that color that clicks in your mind that helps you think about passion.
When you
And
speak about, yeah, when you speak about the color, Laurie, it kind of remind me because I think a lot of culture use color as well. Like in Chinese, red is like significant, especially for business.
yeah,
They will put red color in their home, or they'll put the fish tank and the water element, so to bring the prosperity, or they'll everything having to do with certain color, which makes sense to me. Red and
yeah.
gold.
Well,
Yeah.
everything has its own vibration. So the incense has a vibration that brings harmony into what you're trying to do if you choose the right one. The color has a vibration, very strong vibration, because we are very visual beings. So the work is about being able to pull all those things together. And if you can't recognize them without the tools, then you use the tools. And people like the tools, you know, I mean, it's like something, it is like Dumbledore and the wand. You don't need the wand in order to send the energy out, but it represents being able to channel it for you and make it higher. And until you know how to do that yourself, it will help you channel it and make it higher.
Now, you mentioned that there's a certain day, the right date to do the magic work. How would one know when is a right time to do the magic work?
There are books that will talk about this. This is also on my website. On my website, under the metaphysic gifts, which is, I don't know, somewhere on the drop-down menu, and it says, okay, this is how you do blah, blah, blah. This is how you ho'oponopono and chant and stuff like that. And there's a thing on candle magic. And in that, it will give you the associations of scents, like for using incense. It will give you the association of colors. It also gives you association of the days of the week, because each day of the week is a different planet, is a different energy. Monday is Moon Day. So it's more about emotion. It's more about in releasing, depending on the phase of the moon that you're doing it in. Tuesday is Mars Day. So if you want to get something done, or you want to do something that has to do with male energy, or you're dealing with conflict, you do it on a Tuesday. Wednesday is Mercury Day. So it's about communication, but also be aware both the moon and Mercury have very fast orbits. Mercury is only 88 days, and the moon, you know, changes all the time. So you don't do anything that's this is interesting, because a lot of people would start something on a Monday. Let's start a, you know, I'm going to start a diet. I'm going to start something on a Monday. It's like, you never start anything on Monday, because it's going to change the next day. It's like you're going to be in different energy the next day. If you want to start a diet on Monday, by Friday, you're done.
Because Monday represents moon. Is that what it is?
And the moon changes. I mean, it's a new phase every single night.
Right.
So then Thursday is Jupiter Day, which is like good for business, good for fast luck. That's the biggest planet in our solar system. That's the one about beneficence and bringing in success. And it's a big deal. Friday is Venus Day. So it's about feminine power. It's about love and beauty. Saturday is Saturn Day. So it's about the structure of things, being able to shift the structure, or being able to participate in a structure more. Sunday is Sunday, which is a lot about self. So if you're a woman and you want to do things, you do it on a Friday, or you do it on a Sunday. If you're a man and you want to do man things, you do it on a Tuesday or a Sunday. But then every hour is assigned to a different planet.
Oh, really?
So it's like from dawn, the first hour of dawn is like, if it's on a Friday, the first hour from dawn is then Venus, because it's a Friday Venus day. And then they cycle. So you get the planets that cycle. And this is why you need that list, because you're not going to remember that stuff.
No, so you have that list on your website, Laurie?
Yeah, that list on my website, yeah.
Okay. Let's say, you know, a relationship is a big subject. So if a person wants to go on a successful date, I would assume Friday, right? Because it's Venus.
Well, Friday, you do it. You don't have to make it to happen on a Friday. This is also the thing. We've been so used to, in the Piscean age, you need to control everything. If you try to control somebody else, there's a rule within magic that if you do something to manipulate somebody else, it will come back at you 3 times. The law of 3. So, and I've had people, it's like, well, I want to put a spell so my boyfriend loves me. I'm going, oh, you are so screwed.
I heard that a lot. I heard that a lot. They want to put a spell on.
It will, because that's, if somebody was trying to manipulate you to love them and you didn't really love them, wouldn't you be pissed?
Yeah.
I had a friend who was involved with a guy, and she wanted to make it stronger. And I helped her with the spell. And this was another long spell. And we had 7 candles, all different colors. We were covering everything. And the last candle was a black candle. That was for, in this case, it was for grounding, and it was soul connection. And she didn't tell me that he didn't feel the same way. Oh, and one day in, as the wax was about this thick on the top of the candle exploded.
Oh my God. So what happened?
Because it's like, no, don't do that. You can't do that. You do that, you're going to get some really bad stuff coming your way.
Wow, this is great. Yeah, because it's kind of forced that person's energy to your benefit. Yeah. I want what I want, and I don't care if you want it too. I want it so badly. And it's for anything. If you're trying to manipulate somebody else, another free will. Right.
There is a way to do it for if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You can't make somebody do something you don't want them to do. And there are people who will try that and people who believe that, and they maybe can if they have the right person helping them or they do the right work, but it will backfire every time, every single time.
Wow. So two topic that most people ask is relationship, love, and money.
Love and money,
So
yeah.
yeah. So what magic work that you would suggest person to do for these two category for everyone?
Okay, for love, yes, you do this work on a Friday because even though it is a female power day, it is also Venus, so it is about love. But if you're working on an individual, don't do that. Okay, and we had talked about the 40 things.
Yeah.
That's technically a spell.
Yeah. So that's actually, guys, she talked about the 40 things that you need to do in order to bring in what you want on another video, last video that she talked about. So I'm going to link her video, with this video after this video, so you guys can actually check it out and listen to her video.
That's one thing you can do. That's not the only thing that you can do. I mean, you can do a spell for it,
Yeah.
but it's more a spell about you being able to put forth how perfect you are in a relationship. Put forth the love, because when I teach spell work, I frequently get, this is the first spell that people want to do. It's like, I'm going to call love to me. But if you don't think you're deserving, you're putting out mixed signals here.
Right.
Because there was a very overweight woman who really, really was very, very sweet, and she deserved to be loved. But because of her weight, she never thought she was going to get it. So she was doing a spell to call love to her, but was putting out the energy, I'm not worthy. So it's putting out conflicting stuff. You have to be ready to get what you want. There's a saying, be careful what you want, you're going to get it.
Right.
Which is not a threat. But the old thing is that if you put out the energy, I want money, and then your aunt dies and gives you money, it's like, I didn't want it that way. You can't be in control of how it happens. Everything falls into place. Plus, you also have to be aware of your own karma. If you're calling something to you, you have to be aware that maybe in past lives, you were an idiot and mean and vicious in every relationship that you were because you were selfish, and that's not who you are now, but maybe you were. So the karma that you're coming back into in this lifetime is like, you're not going to have a relationship that's really super worthy because you just used to be so selfish that this is a way of being able to even out those odds.
I see. How
so you can't just say, okay, I'm going to get whatever I want, I'm going to do spell work. It is a part of a process of being able to recognize what you want, how you're going to do it, and being able to use the energy, not manipulate, but use the energy in harmony with the earth.
So it has to be quite a pure intention, for the good of self and others as well.
Yes. And that's the thing. There's a statement. It's like, I do this in the name of the goddess and the god, for the good of all, according to the free will of all, and so mote it be. That's the ending of every spell I do, because it's like, it takes the whole thing that if I'm putting something out and it's not for the good of all, it won't happen. If I can't see it, that it's not for the good of all, and I think it is, and it's not, it won't happen.
That's beautiful, actually. I like that. What about the spell for the money, for people who want to attract more money or work, especially now with the COVID? I know a lot of people are struggling with finance or, not having jobs, things like that.
Yeah. The money spell is actually pretty easy, but it's, again, you better know that you deserve it, because we've had a lot of issues with money, and with money being a power thing. It's like, I have more money than you, then I can do whatever I want, and I can make you dance to my tune, that kind of thing. And so we've got a lot of people who feel that they want it and they don't deserve it because they've been taught that they're less than other people, and that equates to that they don't deserve the money. And it's all psychological, it's all that kind of stuff. But to know that you deserve money is the most important thing. It took me a while when I was doing this work, because when I started doing this work, there was the statement going out there that, if you're psychic, it's like, you should never ask for money. You should do that generally. And I'm
that's
going,
right.
Wait a minute.
For free,
yeah. But that's also Piscean age control.
Yes.
It's like, you're doing something that's not logical, so you shouldn't be paid for it. And it took me a while to get used to and okay with being able to say, okay, at the end of a reading, do you want to pay me with a credit card or on PayPal? If they haven't paid yet, that kind of thing. And so I started repeating to myself, it's like, yeah, I love money. Give me some money. I love money. I deserve money.
Especially people in a spiritual journey, do spiritual work, they have a difficult time charging.
But money is energy that flows. That's all it is. And if you look at it like that, you give something to somebody in any kind of healing and any kind of spiritual practice.
Yes.
And they can't reciprocate in the same way. So they give you money because it's an energy exchange.
Exactly. I agree with that. Wow. So, Laurie, so what kind of magic that you would recommend to most people? I mean, I know that most people tend to focus on one aspect, money only, or relationship, but you said like oftentimes most people do not feel they deserve it.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think they're even aware that they have that psychological, impression, or, energy, that they believe in that since a childhood or past life.
Yeah.
Correct. So they keep repeating, not attracting what they want, or they keep repeating a lot of, headaches and
Yeah.
difficulty.
Well, first thing is get out of victimology.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is happening to me. The world doesn't love me. I can't make money. Nobody cares. It's like, I'm a victim here. Nobody's a victim. Okay. Bad things can happen, but it's
Right.
always karmic. It's always there for us to learn something. And even though we might not consciously remember it, we program this stuff to happen to teach us something. I do that, with you go in for medical testing that can be invasive and very painful because it gets you the results of what you're looking for. It's kind of like karma will come in and do the same thing. It can be invasive, it can be painful, but it gets you out of what you were dealing with and it clears the energy here. So first thing I would say is very much make yourself not a victim. Stop being a victim. Stop looking at it that way. It's a way of looking at things. You don't have to not be a victim in order for spell work to work, but it makes it easier if everything is in harmony. Because again, we're talking about energy, and energy will respond to your energy. If you're putting out negativity, it will bring you negativity back. That's the
Right.
thing. It's like what you put out is what you come back. So there's the purity of that. Get out of the victimology, but also be aware that it is your job when you're doing a spell to create a reality and then let it happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, for those who's never done magic work before, if they go to your website and read the description and everything, will they be able to do it perfectly or correctly?
It depends on the individual. I mean, it's not that easy. People say, okay, I'm going to light a candle for money. They light a candle, but they light a candle and they put it there and they let it burn. It's like, what did you do? What did you put into it? If
Right.
you don't put the passion into it, it's kind of like there's the spell work of the freezing spell.
Yeah.
When somebody's energy is bothering you, I don't know if that's on my website too, but if you need to have somebody's energy stop bothering you, this is a freezing spell to stop somebody from bothering you. Doesn't stop who they are. It doesn't interfere with them. It puts a protection around you so you are unaffected by their energy. But there's a thing, if you're dealing with somebody really, really who's vicious, who is purposely trying to mess with you, part of the spell is you take a white piece of paper, make it square, it's clean, no lines, no holes on it, black permanent marker, put the person's name in the middle, black permanent marker, thick black circle around the name with no little white lines within it. You make it a thick black circle. If this is somebody who has something personally against you, and it isn't just that they're just an idiot and they're trying to hurt you because they don't care, but they're purposely trying to hurt you, then part of the energy is from top right to bottom left, just outside the edge of the circle to outside the other edge of the circle. You draw a thick black line with a permanent marker and you say, I banish your energy from bothering me. And you do it over and over and over in one direction only, because that's the banishing energy. If you do it the other way, you just erase the banishing energy that you put in. So in one direction only, but every time you draw a line, you put in as much of your anger, your frustration, even hatred, if that's what you feel. You don't stop the emotion, because the emotion, the passion of what you're doing, making it personal to you, is what makes it powerful.
So that's the
And then
key
you hold
ingredient.
it up, put it into a food storage container that seals, fill it with water, put in 3 tablespoons of cayenne pepper, 3 tablespoons of your own urine, that's very magical, and then put it in the freezer and leave it there, and it stops that energy from bothering you. Go
Oh
ahead.
my God. So the main ingredient is the real feeling
It is.
toward the subject. Then.
Yeah, and you put the urine in because that's like you're peeing on them to stop them. You put the cayenne pepper because that like cuts the energy right there.
Oh my God, that's
So all of
funny.
that, it all fits in together here, but
Yeah.
it's about the passion of it. I mean, when I was doing the spell for Patrick, it's like he was our main breadwinner. I was home writing. That was the deal. When we came out to LA, I was going to write. I was going to get into the, entertainment industry as a writer because I'd already done the acting thing, and he was going to work. So if he didn't work, we weren't doing really well. And that's what he agreed to. So when he didn't have work, that was really a problem. So I was passionate about that for him because it was about us also. So I put a lot of passion, and also I know he deserved it because he was a really hard worker. So there was a lot of stuff, a lot of energy, a lot of emotion that went into it. Emotion is not negative. People have been taught for 2,000 years that you hide your emotions. Men can't cry. It's like, men can cry. Why put a stigma on that crap?
Right.
Women can be
Right.
angry and not be bitches, you know? So
Wow.
being able to embrace the emotion is the power of who you are. It's an expression of who you are.
So, Laurie, so I wonder, like, on the next few talk that we're gonna do, if you can do like specifically one for the relationship only, specifically, you can teach people how to, and one for perhaps finance or work specifically for that.
Yeah, I can
Would
go
that
through the
work?
steps on that, but it's also something that it's a matter if you just use the tools and you don't start recognizing the energy,
Sorry,
then, okay. Did you lose
that's
me?
some
Am I
interrupt.
gone?
Yeah, hold on, you're not gone. That's okay. I can go on with the what we were just on earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about spell work because that's only part of magic. You know, when you do a circle, first thing that you do is you cast it, and usually people cast it with a wand, where you allow the energy to work through you, or if you don't know it, you point the wand and then you cast the circle, you draw a circle on the earth, not physically, but with the energy of it. But the deal is you can pull from the energy of the trees around you, you can pull the energy up from the center of the earth and have it directed down your arm and through the wand to create this energetic barrier.
Oh my God, that totally makes sense. You use the wand as the directing focus tool and bringing energy of the earth or bringing energy of the nature or like batteries. Like you're
Yeah,
using battery from another person's car or
yeah,
something that has a lot
but
of battery.
that's what it is, because the energy is there. And it's not there to like stop us. It's like, I'm going to, embrace you, but you can't use it. The energy is there because we're part of that. Anytime you do
Wow.
a kind of meditation, this is the thing. Sorry, cat. Anytime you do the meditation, any meditation, it gets you centered with the energy of the planet. It gets you
Wow.
centered with the energy of the universe. And when you are there, that's when you are best able to be using the energy that's around you, to recognize it and be able to pull it into you. Every morning
Beautiful.
when I do this spell work to create the sphere around me, I pull in energy from the center of the universe, which is white light, from Alcyon, which is our central sun of the universe. And I
Mhm.
imagine it coming through the heavens and blah, blah, and it comes down through my crown chakra and completely fills me. So I feel like I am completely filled. I can see myself and feel myself completely filled with white light.
Beautiful.
And I
Beautiful.
thank the energy from coming. And then I call up gold energy, which is the healing energy from the earth, through the center of the earth, through the soles of my feet to mix with the light. So I am filled with golden white light. And then I allow it to come out through my pores, through my breath, to form a perfect sphere around me that is 1 foot beyond where I can reach in every direction. I thank the earth so that it's not feeding me anymore. So I'm just in this bubble, completely filled with and completely surrounded by the light. And I know what the light looks like, what it sounds like, what it smells like, what it tastes like. I do all that. And then I surround it with, blah, blah, blah in steel to protect anything from coming in. If I'm going out, then I call all that energy in to like compress and compact around me to become perfect body armor, because I'll pick up somebody's energy in the grocery store that I don't need to do. So that is a spell for me to protect myself. But it's like that feel, you can feel it. And I get chills every single morning when the energy
Wow.
shifts my body. If you don't work with that, then you're just working on the surface of using tools and not understanding what they are. So I would say if you have tools or you want to work with tools, then spend time with the tool. Spend time with being able to channel energy through your body into the tool. There's also, oh, this is really cool. Try this. Everybody can try this at any time that they want.
Right.
Pull up energy, sit down with your feet flat on the floor.
Hmm.
You can do it cross-legged on the floor or laying flat on the floor, but basically this is a way of being able to feel the energy come up through the soles of your feet. You can use the white light of the universe, but this is an earth thing. So bring up the gold light from the center of the earth. Get yourself calm, do a couple of cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, but then imagine this perfect gold light coming from the center of the earth, and it comes up and it completely fills you. And again, as it comes up, as it fills you, you know what color gold it is. You know if it's sparkly, you know if it is humming or if it's yelling at you, you know what it smells like. Is it jasmine? Does it smell like gold? Is it metallic? You know what it makes you feel. Does it make you feel warm and fuzzy, or are you cold? Does it make you feel comforted? Because there's the physical feeling and then there's the emotional feeling.
Right.
And then as you have that, allow it to come down your arms and in your hands and work with these chakras here, and then make a ball of light that is between your two palms and form it so that you can see it and you can feel it. and you know what it looks like, you know with all your senses what that is, but you form it and you make it a big ball of gold light. You can make it really big or small. This is one of the things that we would do at the end of a magic class in order to send healing energy to people. So we would create this ball of light and have it between our hands and make it bigger and bigger, because you can feel the energy moving up through your body, down through your arms and into your hands, and you can feel it. That's the important thing. Don't just see it, frickin' feel it. And feel the energy, make it as big as you want, and put an intention in there. Right. An intention, this is for the good of all. This is for the good of the earth. This is for healing somebody I know who is sick, or not making sure they heal, but they can use this energy for whatever they need. Because some people need the illness, it's part of their karma. Okay. But being able to use that energy and keep it going and going and going, and then give it the intention, and then throw it into the earth, throw it into the sky, in order for it to find whoever it's intended for. When you have like 12 people doing this for a single individual, it's incredibly healing. You have 12 people doing this for the good of all, for the good of the earth, for the good of, you know, whatever's going on with Ukraine. We could send energy for that. You can do that anytime. That is true magic. The rest of it is magic with tools, not a bad thing, but you don't need them if you know how to use that energy, like calling in that light.
Wow. So Laurie, do you still, I know you used to teach this before. I remember you used to take classes from you. That was really a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Are you going to start teaching again? Because I know, you know, some people listen to this video and would love to explore this, doing magic here. And of course, they can go to your website, you know, which I'm going to put all information in my description here. But definitely they still need someone to kind of guide them, someone who's like you, who have the knowledge, right?
Yeah, I would love to. I'm trying to figure that out, because I haven't taught online yet. Well, I've taught tarot.
You can do on Zoom. You can do on Zoom here, Laurie. Like,
yeah, I probably can. It's just
Laurie's still learning how to use all this stuff.
I know. I'm like too old for this stuff. It's kind of like, it's really simple for everybody else.
We gotta catch up. We gotta learn how to do. Yeah, we gotta learn how to do all this stuff, you know. And you have such a beautiful gift that you can actually teach people out of your place, you know, online. So
yeah, I would like to do that. Yeah, because magic is actually really easy. It's just a matter of, I guess, the direction of it and knowing what's right and what's wrong. Because also, just the key thing here, that when you're doing magic, any spell work, if you're going to say words with it, it's really, really important, because this is not in spell books necessarily. It's in present tense, and it is without negatives.
That's important.
So it isn't like, I will have abundance. If you will have abundance, it never comes. It's in the future. It never comes. It's like, I have abundance.
Which is now.
Yeah. And if you want to say, I do not eat anymore because you want to lose weight, it's like, you just put the negative out there. Just as an FYI, subconscious doesn't hear the negative. So basically, with all the energy, you're saying, I'm not going to eat anymore. What the subconscious is hearing is, I'm going to eat more. And you just blew what you were trying to do. And if you get a spell book that gives you all the details of doing this, and they put anything in the future, or they use a negative anywhere in it, forget it. Don't use anything in the spell book, because they don't understand what they're doing. They understand what they're doing from the Piscean age, but not in the way, this is just energy. It is not meant to be controlled. It is meant to be in harmony.
I think it's also pretty cool to do that too, because I think it brings a lot of focus, and it's like we're doing a meditation or doing a prayer.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that's actually beautiful.
Well, yeah, spell work, we've had it make it separate, because this is, again, organized religion would look at anything that isn't controlled by organized religion as a threat to them. So all the condemnation of any wizards, and there were wizards and there were people. And the thing is that's really cool here is that before all this crap started, this is something we all knew. We all knew how to do this. We all knew, and we didn't think, oh, this is magic. It's like, I'm going to work with the trees because I need things to grow. And a lot of the rituals that have been passed down that have lost their significance of why they were there, the rituals that are celebrated within the Sabbats and the Esbats of the Wicca or pagan or any of the versions of that, they're all from the old days, which is in being in harmony with the earth on days that were significant.
Right. I agree with that. And this is why, you know, they were, you know, killed and they were gotten rid of.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
We have we have too much power if we do that. If everyone start to acknowledge and recognize the power that we have within each one of us to
Yes.
do this.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Laurie, um, please tell the audience, what you do and, your website. And I know you have a book, we talk about that on every video. Remember, her book is on the Amazon.com right now. You can share with that.
Yeah, someday I'm actually going to get it in physical print, but not yet. It's like I'm waiting for this energy to pass yet.
It's only $4.99, guys. It's on Kindle. So
yeah, it's into the Aquarian age, understanding the consciousness shift.
Good.
And it's basically a series of my my blogs that I put out that are talking about the Aquarian age and some things. I think there's a little magic in there, explanation of how I got to where I am, stuff like that. So it's basically like a very simple explanation of what we're going through and why at this moment. So my website is lauriejohnsonpsychic.com. First name is Laurie. And you can book a reading there, or you can read about me and read about the spell work or any of that stuff, because I got a couple of things on there.
Yeah, and if you want to take classes from her, just beg her how to do it via Zoom, guys.
Tell me how to do it.
And I think she'll do it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Well, Laurie, thank you very much for being here. She's going to come back again every 2 weeks, so she's going to be sharing her wisdom. And if you like this video, please share this video with your friends, family who have interest in doing magic. This is so simple. And I love the way she explains it. Okay. Subscribe, click like, share this video, and then we'll see you again in the next couple of weeks, Laurie. Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom. Thank you.
It is my pleasure. Take care.
And guys, take care. Talk to you in the next video.